What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So as we would expect, we're going to be getting probably a lot more information in the coming days, weeks, with this newly announced The Dark Domain Mickey versus Winnie public domain horror film that's going to be coming out. And we know when we did the trailer review reaction, when we were going through the article details, it mentioned the Dark Domain was going to be this new universe that's going to be created, and this was just going to be the first of many. And this is also being deemed the first crossover for these public domains because, again, they have Mickey versus Winnie, and they're spinning it. And if you go back and watch our trailer review reaction, again, I think it was just yesterday. In the article, it mentions how they're trying to make it a little bit kind of what we saw with Freddy versus Jason and some other things that we've seen in the past, which I think is going to be unfortunate if you're just cherry picking previous horror films, slasher films, and then just using that as your template for this public domain film, and this really filling in this, swapping the characters out for, Mickey and Winnie, Freddy and Jason, and then just really moving forward. Now, when we did the trailer review reaction, it was pretty much on par of what I expected it to be. I expected it to be pretty low budget, a good possibility it wasn't going to look good, and a good possibility it wasn't going to show much, and it checked all three boxes off. You can tell it was very low budget. They only showed a little bit of gore towards the very end, which showed Mickey slurping something up, saying it tastes like chicken, not knowing what it was. It could have been one of the other mice that are following him or around him that we saw briefly in the trailer. But I would say this one, it isn't looking that good from the trailer, and typically I wouldn't judge a film just based on what the trailer shows. But when it comes to these public domain films, it's pretty hard not to, and we learned our lesson from the Popeye's Revenge film, where the trailer and the first set images, or first released images of the film, were exactly what we saw in the film, and it represented exactly what was in the film. It wasn't a good film. The makeup wasn't great. Again, you don't expect these to be big budget things where they're going to have a lot of money to toss at makeup, but when you try to, and you try not to, but when you start to compare it to some of the other films that are coming out this year, they're also working with the same character, and you look at how they're representing the character, it's a far different take. And I think we're getting we got Shiver Me Timbers coming up, and then another Popeye film coming up here soon, and one of those versions looks more like the Popeye character that we've seen in these older version cartoons versus what we saw in Popeye's Revenge. So when we saw this one, Mickey was like somebody with some black and white makeup on and some ears, and that was it. We didn't really see too much of Winnie in this first trailer, but I'd imagine we're going to start seeing more of that again as the weeks go on. And right here, not even a day later, the Dark Domain character posters preview Mickey versus Winnie public domain battle. So again, not even a day later, we're already getting the character posters. So I think it's just gonna be a matter of time before we start to just get a flood of information on this film and probably many others. So from Untouchables Entertainment and director Glenn Douglas Packard, the upcoming The Dark Domain Mickey vs. Winnie pits twisted versions of Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh up against each other, and the teaser trailer was released yesterday. To go along with yesterday's trailer, check out the two new character posters below. The upcoming horror film follows two convicts. Now, this was information that was not in the release yesterday as far as with the teaser trailer for the summary or the synopsis of the film. So the upcoming horror film follows two convicts in the 1920s who escape into a cursed forest, only to be dragged and consumed into the depths of the dark forest's muddy heart. A century later, a group of thrill-seeking friends unknowingly venture into the same woods. Their Airbnb getaway takes a horrifying turn when the convicts mutate into twisted versions of childhood icons Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh and emerge to terrorize them. A night of violence and gore erupts as the group of friends battle against their now monstrous beloved childhood characters and fight to break free from the forest's grip. Let's keep going. In a horrific spectacle Mickey and Winnie clash, painting the woods in a gruesome tableau of blood and chilling testament to the curse's insidious power. Dark Mickey is played by Daniel Wilkinson, with Dark Winnie played by Chris Bordeaux. Quote, I love that we can take these iconic childhood characters from a millennious original Winnie the Pooh and the 1928 Steamboat Willie version of Mickey and create a whole new wicked universe. Packer said in a statement this week, our film is like the upside down world with these public domain icons getting into a horror smackdown akin to Freddy vs. Jason. So yeah, I mean, that touches on what I had mentioned that was said in the teaser trailer, for the teaser trailer yesterday. So we have this first trailer here. I mean, they're obviously using a lot of red, a lot of maroon for this one, which I'd imagine this is probably Winnie the Pooh. You can, if you look closely, you can see these makeshift claws that are put on his hands, and I'll put the link for this article in the description of this video below, so if you want to zoom in a little bit more on these posters, you can do so. But he's got these, looks like metal claws that are on his hands, and then obviously some sort of mask or headgear to show that he's Winnie the Pooh. And then we have down here the Mickey character in his what appears to be, or supposed to be, his 1920s convict gear, and he looks like he's carrying here an old school cheese grater. So I'm not sure how that's going to come into play. And then, yeah, that's where it ends off. So, and this look, and this is what I was talking about, where it's just some black and white makeup. We didn't have the synopsis for the teaser trailer yesterday. We were just going into the trailer, seeing what it was going to be. So this giving us more information. I think it's an interesting take, considering the fact that these public domain characters are from the mid-late 1920s, and that their premise is going to be, you have two convicts that are from the 1920s and have been in this forest this entire time. I'm not sure. I'm not really sold on this. I feel it's just going, and in their Airbnb, I mean, I'm not sure why their Airbnb would be located to this dark, cursed forest, unless they're in an Airbnb and decide, oh, behind us is this forest, let's go scamper through there and see what's back there. I mean, you would think, just from an urban, and I may be overthinking this, but from an urban legend perspective, if that was a cursed forest, you would think there'd be some sort of urban legend that would have carried over time. I mean, we all have heard about urban legends ourselves, like the whole Pop Rocks and soda, right? I remember hearing about that one as a kid. I mean, there's just various things that carry over time, and you would think a dark, cursed forest would have carried over time, especially if it's on the backdrop of an Airbnb that people stay in. So, yeah, I think of all the public domain characters we've seen thus far, I mean, we don't really have a clear picture of what Winnie the Pooh's going to look like here. But as far as what this Mickey looks like, it's very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. We see his hands here are a little bit darker. He's got long fingernails to show like some type of claw. But again, the cheese grater doesn't make sense. We have all these other mice following him, some of these have oversized ears. So, like I said, I expect we're going to get a lot more in the coming weeks on this one. We still do not have a release date when we should expect to see this. I without doubt, do not expect this is going to get any type of theatrical release, whether that's 1 day, a 2-day thing. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be straight to streaming, and it's going to stream somewhere for a while before they decide to try and make some money and say, hey, let's put this for VOD and digital, or it's just going to go to all three at once. Or the third option would be is VOD and digital to try to make some money off of it. So anyways, that's the horror news update, the latest on the Dark Domain Mickey vs. Winnie. We now have character posters to go along with the teaser that was released yesterday. So let us know down in the comments what you think. I'll say of all the public domain projects that have been coming out, this is probably one of the least ones I'm looking forward to viewing and doing a review on. Again, and I'm trying not to allow Popeye's Revenge to poison the well. So I will look at this in a silo, but based on what we've gotten thus far, I'm not too optimistic. So drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Also, if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.